Well, hello.
Stunods!
Okay. So when am I going to take my clothes off on the show?
That's up to the fans.
That's a good point.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Stunods podcast. I'm your host, Joe DiNizio, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dominic Lampasona.
How we doing?
So before we get started, today's episode is sponsored by Raw Apparel. It is a fitness lifestyle brand that delivers a very strong message. Me and Dom have been in communication with the owner, and we just want to say, Kayla, thank you for giving us the opportunity to support and promote your brand on our show. The name Raw comes from this idea of being the truest, most honest form of yourself while staying strong in mind, body, and spirit. We are sporting the Body, Breath, and Mind tee. The sports the Raw logo on the front and an inspirational quote from Marcus Aurelius on the back that says, "You have been formed of three parts, body, breath, mind. Of these, the first two are insofar as they are only in your care. The third alone is truly yours." They also have an expanding clothing line on their website that you can purchase for yourselves at home. We will leave their website as well as their respective social media handles in the description down below. Mm-hmm. Check them out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, you want to talk a little bit more about that idea of being raw.
The first thing I got with raw, I connect it with genuine.
Yeah.
To be very genuine.
Sure.
I think, just my type of personality and what I'm trying to pursue as a filmmaker and creating a self-brand that way, my plan is to be very genuine with the way I kind of approach things or, what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I think when you see that and a lot of smaller brands starting to come up, even if it's a restaurant, deli, apparel, gym, doesn't matter.
Sure.
As long as it has some type of genuine, raw strength involved with passion and stability in yourself,
Yeah.
it's going to pop way more than someone just feeling like they're just selling something just to get a paycheck.
When you people can see through the bullshit, right? Like you can tell
exactly.
You can tell when something is fake and not genuine, when a person is being fake and not genuine. And
Right.
it reflects in whatever they're trying to promote. Like you said, whether it's a restaurant, a gym, an apparel, just any sort of company or business that they're trying to promote. And this idea of being, strong mentally, physically, and just in your heart is, it's so important in life. You know what I mean? The world's it's a dark and scary place. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Raw Apparel. And now let's get into the show. We're talking about these fucking Astros.
All right, Joey. 2020 season, spring training starts.
It makes me fucking sick to my stomach. I'm serious,
Yankee
dude.
fans, by the way, we're coming out of Jersey. If you're watching anywhere, no one else is probably watching.
But if they are,
no one likes us.
We are
but
Yankee fans.
If you're watching out of state, we're Yankee fans.
So this might be a bit of a biased opinion, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's really not, man. Because all right. Sorry, so we'll go into it.
Yeah.
So recently, the Astros just opened up about their past theory. It's not really theories, but just
their past cheating.
Their
habits.
past, yes.
It's a fucking habit.
And it's very interesting in how they're going about it. And they recently opened up about just their perspectives on how they were cheating over the last couple of years. And they had a few quotes. So they had Bregman and Altuve step up just in their press conference, just share a little bit of words.
Two guys I had a lot of respect
Yes.
for before I heard this whole cheating scandal come out.
So Bregman's quote is, "I'm really sorry about the choices that were made by my team, by my organization, and by me." And Altuve said, "I want to say that the whole Astros organization and the team feel bad about what happened in 2017. We especially feel remorse for the impact on our fans and the game of baseball." Now, so him just saying that in 2017, and so now they're trying to back up and say that they only cheated in 2017.
Okay.
That's what they're trying to say.
To me, I think that is such a load of bullshit. Let's be honest, if you're going to cheat and get away with it, like they did in 2017,
Right.
and they're going to win games, they're going to win games in high-stakes baseball, postseason baseball, World Series games, why the hell wouldn't you continue to do it if you're getting away with it? So you're going to tell me, we'll just do it once, maybe twice, or maybe 5 times, and then next year, clean slate, we won't cheat. That's fucking bullshit. You're going to keep fucking cheating.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Until it comes out.
You're gonna keep cheating. So I think that is just a fucking awful apology. I don't think that's like, it's not genuine.
Right.
It wasn't genuine.
Right.
It really wasn't. You know, and I have even less respect for those two and just the whole team,
But
Astros as a whole.
So now they're claiming that they didn't cheat over the last 2 years, right?
Okay.
So Correa, in an interview, they were saying that there's one of his quotes is, "That's a lie. Nobody wore buzzers. Nobody wore devices, anything like that." Talking about 2018, 2019, and then that was kind of bullshit in itself. I mean, everybody destroyed them for that.
100%.
You know, and then so then there was an interview with Cody Bellinger from the Dodgers, and he basically said that the MVP title was stripped from Aaron Judge because of Jose Altuve.
I agree with that 100%.
Because in a way, I mean, they are claiming that he was cheating, and now Correa was interviewed a couple days ago, and is trying to basically shooting shots at Cody Bellinger and saying to shut the hell up, pretty much, and saying that he deserved it. He was the cleanest guy on the team. He didn't do any type of cheating or anything.
Oh,
then that's bullshit.
That's 100% bullshit.
Yeah. And then last year when he hit the home run, I'm sure everybody's probably heard it, but when he was coming around third, going into home, and he's saying, "Oh, don't rip my shirt, don't rip my shirt," and he's literally holding it tight as possible.
Yep.
First of all, I remember watching it. I think you were over my house. I remember we watched it, and we're like, "Oh shit." And then we saw that happen, and then one of the journalists or interviewers went up to him.
But after he did that, he comes around third. He's telling his team, "Don't rip my shirt, don't rip my shirt." And then as soon as he hits home plate, he darts into the clubhouse.
That's right.
He darts into the clubhouse. You think you just hit a walk-off home run? You're celebrating with your team. You're getting, the Gatorade shower. You're getting the whole 9 yards, right? That is the pinnacle. That is the climax of any person's or any baseball player's career, is to hit a walk-off home run in a championship
to the
game.
World Series.
Like something like that, like in a high-stakes baseball game, right? And you're gonna dart in the clubhouse as soon as you hit home plate. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, then one of the interviewers went up to him and was like, "Oh, why did you tell your team not to rip your shirt?" He was like, "Oh, I didn't want my wife to be mad at me again." Some bullshit excuse. And then now all of this is coming out.
Yep. Before I found out about this whole cheating scandal, the Astros had so much of, not like that it means anything, but so much of my respect, and I'm sure of a lot of other people's respect, because all of those players are so talented, and I thought they were all genuinely good human beings, like good guys, you know what I mean? And it was almost like, all right, if your team gets knocked out, who are you going to root for? I'm rooting for the Astros. I am. I think those guys had so much talent, so much. They just had so much respect in the league, and it's like this comes out and it makes me second guess everything. It's like, okay, right? I think thinking Altuve has all the odds against him. He's this 5'2" guy. You think he can't hold his own. He won't stay healthy because he's so small. Yet here he is defying the odds. Yet he's a culprit of this whole cheating scandal and things like that. Okay, yes, like stealing signs is part of the game, right? Like if you pick up on the other team's pattern and they don't figure out that you have their signs, and it's on them, it's their fault that they didn't switch up their signs mid-game to throw you off the trail. But if they're consistently in multiple games, one after the other, stealing signs, come on, man. Come on, like the teams that they were playing, they're not dumb enough to not switch up their signs game after game.
Right.
And you look at when they played the Yankees in 2017, all the games played at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees won. And then they go to Houston, and then they lose every single game. Steroids is considered cheating. Yes, it is considered cheating, but not to the extent where someone's using a camera to steal signs. If someone is taking steroids, they still need to have the skill to catch, to throw, and to hit a baseball, right?
True.
I mean, if every person on that team came out and said they were taking steroids, okay, fine. I wouldn't be saying strip them in the 2017 World Series, strip them of the MVP.
Right.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit that they use technology to get an upper hand in high stakes baseball. So I think what the MLB did the best they could to punish them. To revoke a World Series win and an MVP status from now 2 years ago,
I think that's far-fetched.
It's
honestly.
As much as we want to see it happen, it's very far-fetched, and it won't happen. As much as it sucks to say, sorry to those fans out there that believes they were cheated, but It's not going to happen. They won the World Series in 2017. Altuve was the 2017 MVP, and that's how it's going to go down in the books. And we just have to accept it and move on and hope that they have a shitty 2020 season.
Yeah.
On to a lighter note.
Joey,
Dom.
this was a big week for some nerds out there.
Some sneak peeks, man.
Some sneak peeks.
Got some sneak peeks.
Us nerds as in us.
As in me and Dom.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had the Batman, Robert Pattison,
Yes.
drop. Bat suit. Go.
So this is going to be Batman's second year having the cowl, right? So the suit is more of a work in progress.
Right. I get that too. Yeah, I knew that was coming up.
So when you look at the suit, you see this bat symbol that doesn't, I mean, it's a shape of a bat, but you don't see like the bat head or anything like that. It's not like a classic Batman symbol. It's different, and it almost looks like it's made of something, but we'll get into that later. And then the cowl is like this, like almost like leather, softer material than what we're used to seeing, like in a harder, shell-like material. I like it. I think the idea of a work in progress suit is really cool. And if when the Batman comes out, we see as the movie progresses, his suit progresses.
Yes.
I think that would be a really interesting thing. And I think it would, give us nerds just like, a field day.
That is what I would absolutely love. I loved his, the front of it, the chest plates and everything.
Uh-huh.
But once it got up to the leather,
The cowl.
yeah, honestly, I have to keep. Yeah, I'm thrown off a little bit by it, and I have to keep watching it.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of the classic Batman ears or anything. But and again, like we don't know really any type of context within the movie, though. We only know what they're saying.
Well, it's like I was saying, it's going to be work in progress,
Right.
And we also have to keep in mind that it was test footage.
Yeah, I liked it, and I like Matt Reeves as a writer and director.
Yep.
I respect him. Mm-hmm. Definitely, probably was the guy to go for with this approach of a Batman franchise or trilogy, whatever they're going
Definitely.
after, like a reboot in a way.
Yeah.
the 1000th reboot that they've had.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very interested because, again, Robert Pattison, I was surprised on that cast. Surprised with the cast that they got already, which I kind of love.
Uh-huh.
Bringing all the villains in, Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
So, and I hope, I heard when they first were talking about it too, that it's supposed to be more of a detective storytelling rather than a superhero film, which I would absolutely love.
So people seem to forget too, like with the Batman or just Batman in itself, like his title is the world's greatest detective, right? And when he first was introduced in comics, it wasn't DC at the time, it was Detective Comics. So I think it would be really interesting to see, him solving out these puzzles or clues left behind by Catwoman or the Riddler or even the Penguin, right? And just kind of like coming to a conclusion or climax at the end by solving, this trail of crime. So Robert Pattinson, Dom.
Yes.
We know we've talked about him being an interesting cast for this movie. Mm-hmm. People are still kind of on the fence about him, but the way I'm looking at it is you can't knock the guy until you've seen him in the role.
And you have to think about it too. When you're casting somebody, especially that big of a film,
right?
You have to think about why what was their decision behind that? Yeah. Obviously, you go with his skill as an actor, but with the marketplace, like think about how it's going to go. So he's been doing a lot of indie stuff.
Yeah.
He did, Good Times? And now we have Tenet coming out. So Robert Pattinson's going to be in that.
Yep.
That's going to be a big hit, and then you're going to be bouncing off of that into the Batman. I think that transition is going to be huge for Pattinson specifically, but also for the movie as well.
Sure.
Because it's familiar face. People are going to respect it more.
All right.
Now going into the DCEU, the extended universe of DC movies, I don't know what the hell they are doing.
Yeah, in terms of the direction they're gonna go.
So I don't know if they're completely redesigning everything. But they have the Batman coming out. You just had the Joker, which was a huge hit critically and box office amazing.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure they're trying to develop a sequel to that, which that's another episode we can talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not really sure where.
Well, in terms of direction, so you had Birds of Prey that just came out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of DC movies this year, you have Wonder Woman coming out in the summer, which I'm excited for. I think Wonder Woman's going to be really good.
All right, so the upcoming films for DC is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's next.
The Batman.
Uh-huh.
Suicide Squad, the reboot Suicide Squad.
Which is going to be fucking awesome. If you are doubting it, don't. It's going to be fucking awesome, and I'll tell you why.
Black Adam. Aquaman 2, and The Flash.
Okay.
Now, and I'm not really satisfied in the direction they're going with it because we're coming off of the Marvel 10 years historic era that they had.
And the kind of integrated and, that universe that they created.
Right. So kind of the formula that they went about it, right? And DC comes in with Man of Steel. Personally, I love it.
It was a good start.
Great start. I think it was a phenomenal start.
Yes.
I mean, Henry Cavill, stud.
Yeah.
But a perfect Superman, perfect world that they're building. Zack Snyder, I was in on his vision that he had for the style and the aesthetic of it.
Absolutely.
Batman vs Superman, which obviously
extended cut was better than the theatrical cut. BVS, like you're thinking, all right, it's going to be Batman versus Superman, and they're just going to be going at it the whole movie, and it's going to be sick. And then you go in, and it's like that, and then all of a sudden it takes its turn, and it turns into the Doomsday story. And if you don't know Doomsday's where Superman dies. Spoiler alert, sorry. And you're thinking to yourself, like, really? We're going to kill Superman this early?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to create Doomsday, who, one, look like shit compared to what he looks like in the comics.
Right.
And then you're going to kill off Superman, and then that brings us into Justice League.
But think about it, that's already within
two movies.
2 films.
You can't kill off a flagship character in 2 movies in an extended universe.
And that's going back to my point. And first of all, I think Batman vs Superman should. Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. It should have been titled and pushed a completely different. It shouldn't have been a Batman vs Superman. It should have been. It should have just been Dawn of Justice.
That would have been. Yeah,
it should have been that.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman comes in and she kind of kicks ass.
I think the title of it completely botched a lot of the criticism that they got. I think that's half the reason.
Is it Batman vs Superman or is it Dawn of Justice?
Right. Because think about it. If you have that, if you label it, you're not really going. The people that aren't really into it that much. You're just sitting home. Hey, I'm gonna go see a movie. Batman vs Superman. You're expecting
Batman and Superman to fucking.
But if you just had it titled as Man of Steel 2 or something else, you're gonna go in, and then when you get a little bit of the taste of Batman and Superman fighting, and be like, oh shit, this is badass, right?
Yeah, seriously.
But back to my point is DC saw Marvel's success, and I think 2013 was Man of Steel came out.
That's when it came out.
And so Marvel's already established.
Avengers was the year before.
Right. So Marvel's already established for, what, 4 years, 5 years?
Iron Man came out in 2008.
Yeah. So they're trying to play catch up. That's what DC's doing.
Yeah.
And I thought they completely fucked up with trying to play catch up. They had a really cool style, very dark approach, which I loved. And that's how the comics was.
Approach, because DC's comics are a lot darker than Marvel's comics.
And that's what differentiates them from the Marvel films.
Yes.
And that's half the studio's fault, because then they sell out because they see Marvel being a very lighthearted family film. And then so DC fucked up with Justice League and Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even going to talk about Justice League because that'll piss me off. That was a clusterfuck of the studio getting involved to the max.
Yep. Movie had 2 directors. Studio cut the runtime down underneath 2 hours for a team up superhero. It's just stupid.
Tell. But anyway, so Justice League comes out as the 3rd film. Yes. Then you have Aquaman and you have Wonder Woman, Flash. You have all the characters that you're supposed to fall in love with.
Not even looking at it from a comic book standpoint, right? With these characters, you're looking at it as, okay, you have Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, Ezra Miller playing Flash. You need to fall in love with these actors playing these characters before you see them in a team up movie. You know what I'm saying? Because then Because then by the time the team up movie comes out, there's this familiarity with these characters,
Right.
and you're like, okay, now let's see how they mesh together. That's exciting.
Yeah. So now you can think about it. Batman vs Superman. You have Wonder Woman come in, which I thought was good. It was.
Yeah.
They did it right. Again, yeah. You have Justice League. You have these huge characters that are supposed to be so influential for the rest of the push for the next 10 years. And that was botched.
Botched completely. And they had the idea, they were going to show, like throughout the movie, they were supposed to show bits and pieces of their origins.
Right.
Supposed to show a little bit of the Flash, a little bit of Cyborg. Even in the fucking trailers before the movie came out, you saw a football scene with Cyborg, right? And where was he in the movie?
Yeah.
Gone. Just gone.
Then if you think, so look at Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
You introduce Black Panther and Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So those are two big, huge characters for Marvel. So if you're trying to compare it, though, you introduce those characters into a team-up movie, you get the feel for them.
Right.
But then they have their own big movie
Afterwards,
but before Infinity War.
But, 100. Well, yeah. I agree
what I'm
with
trying
that.
to say?
But yeah, I know what you're trying to say. But the thing is, too, is like by the time Civil War came out, the MCU was so established.
Right.
You could introduce a character in a team up movie and be okay with it and wait for their solo movie after, right?
Right. But do you think now, because you already had a taste in how they failed so much with what they established.
Right.
But it's just there's too much cluster into one thing, man. All right, so now you have Harley Quinn
Yeah.
coming the first Suicide Squad. Then you have her own movie, Birds of Prey. But then now you're having Margot Robbie, the same character, like literally the same actor and character you established, back into the reboot.
Yeah.
And then you have a new Batman that's going to get involved, but you already had him in a film with Justice League and Batman and Superman with the same act. Like, it's too fucking cluttered, man.
Every movie is its own thing.
Right.
And I'm just going to treat it as its own thing.
I guess, yeah.
And if they find their stride and they mesh it well together to where they can make this extended universe, okay, then I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ride, man. All right, so moving on from the comic books, let's move into a Netflix fan favorite. Stranger Things just released a teaser for season 4.
Little sneaky peek.
Bastards.
Can I sneak a peek?
They snuck it in there while I was at work. I saw it and I couldn't even watch the video with volume. I had to watch it on mute, tucked away underneath my desk. But anyway, I mean, spoiler warning if you haven't seen season 3, but Hopper is alive.
Yes.
Who would have fucking guessed?
You.
Wait, me and everyone else who watched the show. Rule of thumb, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody dies in a show, a movie, whatever the case may be, if you don't see a body, there's a chance they could come back. You need to see a body.
Goddamn filmmakers.
Look at Star Wars, bro. Palpatine got thrown into a fucking abyss, blew up at the bottom, and the space station that he was in blows up, and he's back in episode 9. Anyway, getting back to the point, Hopper is alive. I think we knew that was going to happen. The way he went out just didn't feel like a character like him got the recognition like for his death that it was deserved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it felt empty. So it's like, all right, there's no way they're going to kill him like that and not do like a whole big funeral and memorial and everyone's going to be crying and things like that. You know he's alive. So some I guess, what are your theories? How do you think he came back? I have my theories.
Well, I remember when the season came out, me and you were talking, and we kind of came to an agreement that we think he must have crawled through.
He jumped in.
Hole.
He crawled through a hole. No, I think the gate. I think there's a connection between a gate in the U.S. and the gate in Russia, and I think it's going to tie into the Cold War in a way, right? So I think maybe Russia knows about the Upside Down, and they're trying to figure out maybe it's a way for them to bridge the gap between the U.S. and Russia and use the Upside Down as a path so they can invade and take over kind of thing. I think that's going to be like stakes for the next season.
Whoa.
Right? That's my theory on season 4.
Did you read that somewhere?
No. Well, it's probably a theory, but I swear to God I didn't read that somewhere.
Look at this guy.
Did I blow your mind a little bit?
A little bit, yeah. That'd be fucking badass.
No, yeah, because I was thinking there's obviously a connection with Russia in the series, because you see that in season 3. You know, they're not going to use it for studying what's in there. They're going to use it as a means of transportation to get all their troops into the U.S. in a stealthy way. Imagine that, dude.
Wow, that is incredible.
Imagine that. Like, all of a sudden, you have all of Russia's army in the U.S. and they didn't get here by plane, boat, or anything.
Yeah. Going off of what I think, how he crawled into the Upside Down.
Yeah.
I would like to see a lot of the season in the Upside Down.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
In that interdimensional world, because I just love exploring different worlds and this type of franchise.
Sure.
Turns into a big sci-fi thing, which is cool because it's always been the thing that everybody feared and the audience feared while they were watching these last couple seasons.
There's a big question mark on the Upside
There's a
Down.
question, yes. So you want answers.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope we can kind of dive into that. So we'll see.
Yeah. What do you think, Dom? Should we wrap it up?
I think so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Stunods podcast. We want to thank Kayla again and Raw Apparel for sponsoring this episode. Please go check them out. We're going to leave their respective social media accounts in the description down below, as well as their website. They got some really cool designs, and the message of being raw and genuine is something I think we all should live by. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more weekly content, and as always, tuning off,
Signing off.
stopping off.